There is supposed to be a search function on the Justice Department's website that would allow you to be able to search for specific individuals. I ran the names Epstein and Maxwell, the two individuals charged in this case, the two principals in this case, and I received no return. So that link does not appear to be working up to its task just at the moment. Some of the items that have been released here, Kristen, we touched on it a little bit before, are photographs that have not previously been made public of things that we have seen before. But there are some other things in here that are potentially quite disturbing, which we're not going to show, which are heavily redacted photos, either in their entirety or have significant portions of the photos that have been redacted that may have to do with underage victims. And these photos are highly sexual in nature or nude in nature. And so that's something that we were aware of that was seized by the New York field office of the FBI in the course of their investigation into Epstein, when after that Miami Herald story by Julie Brown broke, that they were able to recognize that, hey, there's these case files in Miami. Maybe we could go down there and be able to start this investigation. They then conducted additional search warrants after Epstein was taken into custody in the summer of 2019, and it appears that we're looking at some of the fruits of that. Now, as the law provides, the Justice Department has said they're not going to produce any child sex abuse material, so the material here is heavily redacted. You can't make out the identities, but it's clear that at some point, at least according to the FBI and the fact that we have, in the fact that these documents are included in this release, that Epstein had these materials on him at some point. And so we're still in the process of going through. It's not clear if some of the photos are from an island or his island or from some sort of vacation, but that's at least the information that we have so far. Again, we've made it through a percentage of a percent. So we're still going through these things, but just wanted to get people an understanding as we talk here this afternoon.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.